Good afternoon at 4:30 right now. I am Chief Meteorologist Chelsea Simmons alongside our meteorologist Nick Perazzi. Still tracking some heavy rainfall. Luckily, we're not seeing any severe thunderstorm warnings for our area, and most of us done with severe weather. If you are from West Point, Starkville, down towards northern parts of Atala County, north and west, just that rainfall, maybe still lightning, thunder, but it's really those far south and eastern portions of our area still ahead of that line of storms, then we could see some stronger potential. Now, most of the heaviest storms off to our south, and you can see a few of those severe thunderstorm warnings for places located closer towards Jackson. Now, if you know any basketball players, high school, state championships going on in Jackson right now, there at the Mississippi Coliseum, they had a power hit earlier. Now, they have announced that they are back up, they are back playing, so everything is good to go there. Actually, looking down towards the Jackson area, those MDOT traffic cameras, a lot of water on the roads. We've seen that add up fairly quickly. So this is another thing that we're tracking, not only down towards Jackson, but for a lot of places, even in the northern half of the state. Looking at a lot of those greens there, past rainfall since this morning. Picked up about 3.5 inches of rainfall close to that Prentiss to Tishomingo County line, and then for places back out towards Lafayette, Pontotoc, Union County, over 2 inches of rainfall. It is still also coming down, so that is going to continue to add up. Looking a little bit closer at some of those storms right now, that heaviest line is from places Vernon back down towards Columbus, Crawford area, but you can see a little bit of that outflow boundary out ahead. We could see a few thunderstorms continuing to pop up along that outflow boundary, and also those storms that are off to our south continuing to move in. Right now, closer towards really southwest of Forest, that could move in through Philadelphia area, Macon, Aliceville here shortly. Now, I'm going to get a track along that line as that is going to be moving through some of those southeast portions from really Louisville down through Macon and out towards the Lamar County, Alabama area. As that tracks through most of our area, Macon, that's going to be closer towards 435, so here in the next minute or so, kind of right on top of you. Reform, Alabama there at 451, Gordo 504, and then on down the line, kind of moving out of our area. Northport there around 531 as this line of storms moves east. Now, I also want to take you down towards Columbus on another one of those MDOT traffic cameras as that heavier rain kind of right over top. And you notice as those cars drive past along 82, a lot of water splashing up. Needing to make sure you are staying extra careful out there. Another thing that we are seeing is a little bit of movement on that MDOT traffic camera. We have had some breezy conditions out of a lot of these thunderstorms. So just make sure you are staying careful if you are having to head out. Kind of looking at some of those wind gusts that we still have out there as that loads in. We've seen some wind gusts around 40, 45 miles per hour up towards Tupelo just about an hour and a half ago. Columbus looks like registering a wind gust about 25 miles per hour, and it's really right along there, right along that boundary area, that front, is where we see the breeziest conditions, even some oranges, reds peaking. So we could see some getting on up closer towards 40, 45 mile per hour wind gust. Now that is still below severe limits, and that's why we don't have a lot of those severe thunderstorm warnings, but that could be enough to knock out power. Definitely some breezier conditions though down towards Jackson. And as those storms have picked up, we have seen power outages pick up across the state. Looking at that statewide, there is over 24,000 folks without power. You can see a lot of those counties there in blue. Some of the higher ones, Hinds County off to our south, just shy of 6,000 people. Panola County, a little bit less than 2,000 folks without power right now. For us, Pontotoc County is one of the higher spots with 876 people without power right now. Down towards Starkville, about 559 folks without power. We're continuing to see Clay County, 688. So definitely just make sure you are staying careful. If you are having to head out, some of those red lights could be out, so you want to make sure you treat any red light that may be out as a four-way stop on those roads. Also, slick roadways. Now, that severe weather threat is continuing to push out. Still watching though for Louisville, Macon, back out towards Pickens County. And a lot of those severe thunderstorm watches have been canceled. The only folks now under severe thunderstorm watches for us, Starkville down towards Columbus, Louisville, Macon included in that. And I am going to get a time on that. That will extend until 9 o'clock this evening. Those will be canceled early as the threat will end sooner than that. Looking back at radar right now, a lot of that heavier rainfall. We do want to zoom in a little bit closer. Earlier there were reports of some very small hail close to the Columbus area. Looking at hail potential, it also looks like that is still there just south of Brooksville. You can see those discolorations, more of that grayish white. Still on the smaller side. If you have any of those pictures of hail or any kind of reports to send in, you can do that through that WTVA weather app, of course through Facebook, also our email. You can send any kind of weather pictures or alerts to. I do want to look back at what kind of reports we've had close by our area. We haven't had a lot for us. Kind of zooming out, I know we had some back out to our west, but clicking some of those on wind, hail, there were some wind reports back out towards closer to DeSoto County. It looks like some wind damage reports that's going to be in Lewisburg area around 11 o'clock this morning. So really right as those storms were pushing in. Off to our south, we've seen some wind gusts around 70 miles per hour as that storm lifted north through the Jackson area. Also looking at what looks like a wind damage report just north of the Jackson area, and that report coming in as a downed tree about 30 minutes ago. So for us, what we're mainly tracking is just a lot of rainfall still back behind this main heaviest band of rain. You can kind of hear it coming down over the studios. You can see more yellows, orangish colors. Not looking at that to be severe. Now, it is still a lot of lightning with some of those thunderstorms, even through Kilmichael, back out towards Coffeyville, Grenada. So a few more rumbles of thunder if you are heading out for your Saturday night. But that severe potential really kind of dwindling down for a lot of places. Now, still out ahead of that line is going to be places in Knox-Pater, Macon, back out towards Reform, Aliceville. Could have those thunderstorms push in. Luckily, we have seen most of these stay below severe limits today. Now we could continue to see some breezy conditions along with this. I'm going to give you a little bit of a look at Storm Tracker real quick, one of those higher resolution models that we do have. Our next newscast is actually at 6 o'clock, and Nick will go into more of a deeper dive on that forecast because we do have some more storms in the next few days. But really looking on Storm Tracker, most of that is out of here around 5:30, 6 o'clock. That time's been running a little bit late. So around 5:30, 6 o'clock, most of this is out of here. And then really looking towards your Saturday overnight, going into your Sunday. A few more showers, maybe a little bit of heavier rainfall early tomorrow. But it looks like even some of those clouds might clear overnight going into your evening Sunday, going into your Monday. So as you're heading out for the rest of this evening, it is soggy. We're still watching those far southeast counties for that potential for severe weather. If you have any of those reports, send that in to us. We're also monitoring those storms off to our south to make sure they don't impact us. But our next newscast is at 6 o'clock, so just make sure you are tuned in for that.